Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco, sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
Eagles, dramatic predators that have inspired myths and legends for millennia. Though top of their food chain, they battle for survival, working tirelessly to raise their young. Powerful, diverse, agile, this is an epic story of conquest for one individual. But what does it take to become a ruler of the skies? Nearly a meter long, one of the largest flying birds. It takes 2.5 meter wings to get its 6-kilo body into the air. The white-tailed sea eagle is a master of survival. In bleak winter, when food is in short supply, it hunts wildfowl, driving the coots underwater until they tire. There are 60 species of eagle. They are among the largest and most impressive birds, united by their killing skills. Soaring on huge, broad wings, scanning the landscape with eyes some 3.5 times more acute than our own. They can swipe prey with enormous talons. And devour their victims with meat cleaver beaks. But the whitetail is distracted by the calls of his mate. Eagles pair for life, and every year this couple return to their nest. They have built their home in the cold northern forests of Scandinavia. Calling helps renew their bonds. They may be together for 20 years or more. Mating is a delicate balancing act that requires patience and trust from both parties. But they won't be able to enjoy this intimate moment for long. One of their offspring from last year is hoping to be welcomed home to the nest. It'll be several years before the chocolate-brown chick will lighten and get its characteristic white tail. The youngsters will often stay close to their birthplace for their first few years. The plaintive calls beg for a free meal, but it's not going to work. With the female pregnant, they need to make some preparations. It's March, and still pretty cold around their wetland home. The male eagle is searching, but he's not after food, or even the frozen drinking water. He diligently gathers the driest reeds and grasses he can find and takes them back to the nest. The huge platform, or eyrie, gets bigger each year with the home improvements. The grass goes on the inside to create a bowl. It's like papering the nursery for when the baby comes. Blue tits appreciate his handiwork. Smaller birds often nest in the underside of the eyrie. As long as the eagles don't eat them, they'll do a good job of keeping other predators at bay. All eagles build enormous nests, and in the Amazon there is plenty of building material for harpy eagles, providing they can break it from the trees. Their impressive eyries can be 1.5 meters across and well over 1 meter deep. It's a good platform, but it doesn't offer much shelter. And the rainforest lives up to its name. The 8 long weeks of incubation can be an uncomfortable period for the parents-to-be. Over the years, the nests of sea eagles can become so huge that trees have been known to collapse under their weight. After a few weeks, the female lays 2 baseball-sized eggs. The grass bowl lining the nest will form cups around the eggs, keeping them warm and stopping the parents from squashing them. Now begins the arduous period of incubation. For over a month, both parents will take turns tending to the clutch, while the partner goes off to feed. Sea eagles are supreme hunters of fish. But before long, even their fish-catching skills are being put to the test. There are now 2 new mouths to feed. Sea eagles eat around 500 grams of food a day, and it won't be long before the chicks are begging for a similar portion. The male returns to the nest for his share of babysitting, relieving his larger mate. Female eagles are always a kilo or so bigger than the males. She performs her toilette away from the nest, helping to keep the house clean. He butchers his latest catch into bite-sized chunks. Back in the Amazon, the weather is finally brightening up. Mother's able to dry off just in time to welcome her new chick. Harpies usually only brood one of their eggs, meaning only one will hatch. The male does most of the hunting for the family. She calls him in, her voice echoing across the forest. The pair regularly swap roles to help share the burden. Dad's brought dinner, and a clawed hand reveals the victim, a three-toed sloth. Harpy eagles often snatch sloths, monkeys, and other animals from the tree canopies. Across the eagle family, all manner of meals are brought to the nest, from ducks to deer. But for our young whitetails, it's usually fish. Eagles are fastidious in their cleaning, both the nest and themselves, requiring constant attention. To be able to hunt, they must maintain their feathers, which are so dense and strong that they make up 5% of the parent bird's weight. With their chicks flourishing, the parents almost seem to celebrate their success. They need to be totally committed to the little ones, who will be dependent on their help for the next 5 months. Another fish supper. At 5 weeks old, they are starting to look a lot like their parents, but already it's clear that one youngster is getting all the food. The parents work hard to try and provide for them both. Eagles usually lay 2 or 3 eggs, but in some species, it's unusual for all to survive. Often, the largest and fittest of the chicks will get the most food, and the runt will waste away. The parent birds will fish throughout the day, though only around 30% of tries will result in a meal. Having favoritism seems cruel, but ensures the parents can invest all their energy in one offspring, and that it's the one with the best chances of a successful future. But despite their best efforts, by July, there is just one youngster in the nest. It's possible the brother fell, but most likely he was starved or displaced by his larger sister. When there is only one survivor, it's usually female. Even at this age, she's the bigger sex. Does this take the pressure off the parents, or just make their quest all the more important? They can't afford to lose another chick. She spotted a dead eel, easy pickings. No eagle turns its nose up at a free meal. While Mum's fishing, Dad delivers his catch of the day. Sea eagles are real generalists. The chick's big enough to swallow the young rat whole. Summer is a productive time for the forests of Europe. Long hours of sunlight result in an abundance of food. As the season passes, the young female goes from strength to strength, having lost most of her infant down. But today, her parents seem less forthcoming with food. They are trying to encourage their daughter to start exploring her world. The parents come and go, teasing their chick. She seems agitated at their lack of parenting. But her frustrations are their intention. She suddenly seems to discover her wings. The first steps of exploring are called branching out on the limbs of the tree. For 12 weeks, all she's known is the inside of the nest, but that's about to change. Sea eagles are often described as flying barn doors. Her huge wings will take a while to master. After a few days, her confidence grows and she can start to explore further. She feels ready for her first hunting trip. She has a lot to learn. Luckily, her parents will still offer food for a few more weeks. Plenty of time to practice. With acute binocular vision, eagles have amazing depth perception, making them masters at snatching prey on the wing, and none more so than the African fishing eagle. To perform such aerobatics, their feathers need a great deal of maintenance. Like all their family, the African fishing eagles perform a duet to proclaim their lifelong devotion. The young female still has a long way to go to become a true queen of the sky. But she has another attempt at self-sufficiency. The first thing to catch her eye doesn't look too promising. A dead fish, on the other hand, is much more what she's accustomed to. Rocks are useful tools for cleaning her beak. Winter lies ahead, a tough time for all animals. As summer draws to a close, the wetlands are getting busy with migrating wildfowl. This is the first time our female has seen ice. Her parents are still around, but are no longer offering free food. There are other eagles too, birds that have moved from northern territories to a more sheltered wintering spot. Copying the adults' examples, she finds weaker patches in the ice, using 4.5 centimeter claws to expose drinking water. It can also expose unexpected treasures. But now, there are a lot of hungry neighbors. This is her first taste of the competition she'll face. Just because she found the dead fish doesn't mean she'll be able to eat it. Unless she ups her game. It's a free-for-all. Even a red kite and heron seek the crumbs that drop from the eagle's table. It's winter, when all animals are tested by the elements. Many birds migrate to avoid the worst of winter, and some eagle populations do the same. In northeastern Russia, the whitetails flee freezing inland valleys and head for the coast, an eagle mecca. But they are not alone. The 9-kilo Steller's sea eagle, the heaviest of all. Several hundred will spend the winter on the ice floes. At first, there seems to be an awkward tolerance as the birds assemble. The reason they have picked this spot is that the chilly open waters around the ice floes are teeming with fish. For landlocked birds like ravens, eagles unlock the desirable resource. The stellers and white-tailed are closely related sea eagles, deploying the same tactic to secure a meal. With freezing temperatures, the stakes are high, and every scrap is worth fighting for. Among eagles, the stellar's characteristic beak is the biggest. But there is a third eagle here, smaller than the sea eagles. The golden has a fiery personality. And while it's not such a confident fisher, it enjoys a fish supper. When the food is running low, it seems everyone has their eye on the catch of the day. And as snow starts to fall, tensions rise. It's like David and Goliath, but the golden eagle isn't shy about stealing a meal. He may only be 2/3 their weight, but he's a fighter. Soon, claws and beaks are drawn all over the ice. The eagles reserve their lethal beaks for feeding and instead arm wrestle, trying to pin each other down with powerful talons, throwing punches with their muscular wings. All eagles are quite solitary for most of the year, only hanging out with their partners in young. But now, the goldens seem happy to feed together, giving the cold shoulder to the watchful sea eagles. Despite the abundance of fish, it's a long, tough winter for these Russian eagles. They may be fighters, but nature really will let only the fittest survive. This youngster lost the fight. But victims of winter can become banquets for adaptable birds of prey. A deer carcass has attracted the adult whitetails. It's worth walking on thin ice. But while her parents feed, the young female is given the cold shoulder. She needs the meal, but they are just not willing to share. It's her huge mother who finally puts her foot down. The message is clear. It's time to fly the nest. Sea eagles rule the roost here, keeping other birds on their toes. Pretty much any of the animals living here could end up on the menu. Though if there's carrion available, it's a better energy-saving alternative. A fox is drawn by the carcass, but it's not welcomed. It's injured and knows even a young sea eagle could make a meal of him. Better not stick around. Out in the big wide world, there are all kinds of strange neighbors to meet. Sea eagles can kill birds as big as swans, but for now, she's more interested in scavenging. She and the crane race for any fishy scraps. She seems happy foraging alongside the crane, but in Japan, her white-tailed cousins are happy to snatch the food straight from their mouths. Cranes are revered in many parts of the world, and in some areas of Japan, farmers try to help them through the winter by offering food. Something the eagles are quick to spot. Badgering among birds of different species is common, known as mobbing, harassing until the victim gives up its food. One of the adult whitetails has found carrion, but it's not immune to the raven's mobbing. And this time, a red kite wants a piece of the action. Surprisingly, it seems spooked by its lighter cousin's agility. But yet another eagle has been watching the proceedings. The lesser spotted eagle isn't much bigger than the kite, but it has the family's fighting spirit. Once he's got it, he's not going to surrender it to the crows. About half the size of the sea eagle, and perhaps more closely related to hawks, he's got guts, meaning he doesn't mind standing his ground or being scared off by lanky intruders. Like all eagles, the lesser spotted is adaptable. He'll scavenge, but hunt as well. He uses his sharp eyesight to spot his prey, but has an unusual technique to catch it. His prey can be anything from rabbits to frogs. This time, a lizard has caught his eye. This species can soar and dive like the others, but it's also perfected the stalk and pounce. Our young female has settled in some wetland where she's finding food easy to scavenge from around the shores. The poolside is busy by late summer, everyone wanting waterfront accommodation. She's got a new eagle neighbour, a greater spotted. Many young sea eagles will stay in one area, often with other non-breeding birds, for their first 5 years or so, while others are known to settle far from their birthplace. With so many sea eagles and the spotted, it's too crowded for our female, so she decides to move on again. Eagles use large territories, some moving widely with the seasons, and others staying local. Sea eagles typically use 30 to 70 square kilometers, though she might have to travel a while to find a patch that isn't already taken. As she travels, the colors of autumn disappear as winter claims the land. She spots some carrion that will help sustain her journey. Though of course with sharp-eyed birds around, she's not the only one to notice. Crows and magpies try to lay claim to the carcass, but with their straight bills, they are having trouble getting into the frozen body. A buzzard joins the feast. His tin opener beak is just what the magpies needed. While they are happy for the buzzard to get things started, the crows try to police the portions. A second buzzard adds to the chaos. They don't expect an eagle to be passing over the usually quiet fields. She's wary. Eagles always approach a scene with caution. After a brief pit stop, she continues her journey. Her quest takes her into the mountains. This is the realm of the golden eagle. This one's taking advantage of a fox's misfortune. Golden eagles are capable of hunting foxes and even modest-sized deer. As well as the usual mob of crows, it now has some bigger competition. She has landed on her feet, a good spot for any eagle to call home. Craggy mountains and deep lakes teeming with fish. And only one other eagle in sight. It's a young male, a few years older than her, and already a skilled fisherman. She seems impressed. Winter firmly grips the landscape, but with experience, the male isn't having any trouble finding food. He's followed the noisy crows to a winter-killed deer. The discovery of a carcass will see him through hard times. The female has decided to stay in the mountains, and now is her chance to make an impression. She boldly pushes in. She's younger, but being female already has a weight advantage. She's taken a stand and secured her future. Our female still has a few years until she'll be ready to breed. Perhaps the male will stick around. In a final act of defiance, she proves her worth. Not just as a powerful scavenger, but a hunter as well. With strength, adaptability, and determination, she's truly become a queen of the sky.